Hello, friends. Go ahead and have a seat. Find yourself in meditation posture. If you're on a mat or pillow on the floor with your legs crossed, let your hands rest gently on your lap. You can place them in any mudra you feel comfortable. My suggestion is to find a position that's without any strain or difficulty. If you're in a chair, like I am now, see if you can place your feet flat on the floor and pull your spine up straight, away from the backrest. Let the shoulders drop. Again, hands on your lap or knees, or resting just in front of the navel. Or if you're lying down in Shavasana, this is okay too. Let your arms gently lie at your side, your feet about shoulder width apart, relaxed, and a light pillow under the head to uphold the neck, if you need. Whatever position you're sitting or lying in, we want to open the front muscles of our body, stretching open just a touch. Pulling our shoulder blades slightly together to open up our heart space and ease the restrictions on our breath. Just breathe. There are many different ways to enter meditation, and there are benefits to each of them. today I suggest closing the mouth, breathing gently in and out of the nose. You can close the eyes or leave them slightly open with a soft gaze in front of you. If you begin to feel yourself becoming distracted or wanting to move, try it. Maybe a little movement is what you need. Adjust yourself, find balance, and return to stillness. If you find you continue to be distractible, you can offer yourself focus upon something tangible. I like to choose the breath. So when I find that my thoughts want to continue racing and my body wants to follow suit, I put all of my focus on my nose. And I feel the sensation of the air cool as it comes in on the inhale and warming on the exhale. And I focus on one breath, just one breath. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Now that I've focused on one breath, I can focus on two. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Good. Now let's do three. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Sit with and notice the breath. How is it changing? It may be very subtle. But it is always changing. As I rise to greet my breath, I am different each time. And as that breath enters my body, it provides nourishment and sustenance. So as I breathe out each time, I am changed. We'll take that change, the awareness, and with each breath in, I am change, and with each breath out, I am changed. We'll sit for 3 minutes. Okay. Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you may be, whatever is happening in your life right now. This is Journey Home Meditation, and this is the morning sit, so thanks for joining us. And that is a lovely cup of tea, albeit a little chilly, because I once again poured the tea. I got this second little tea warmer at the thrift store. It was $1.50, but it was 50% off. So I feel like a wealthy meditator with my 2 candle heated tea warmers. One for my teapot, one for my teacup. It's opulence. I tell you, opulence. So, in this morning's meditation, we meditated on each breath in and out being change. And that with each breath we take, we are not the same person breathing out that breathed in, or the same person breathing in that breathed out. And it may seem like hyperbole, right? I mean, obviously, we're breathing in and out all day. You know, there's some estimates say 20,000 breaths a day. Are we 20,000 different people a day? Well, I think that on how subtle and how closely we want to see ourselves or see the world. But the practice of recognizing change is maybe a little different than quantifying it. And one of the tenets that we learn in studying some of the teachings of the Buddha in some lineages is to understand that everything is change. And that means that everything is temporary, right? The temporary truth of all existence. And this causes suffering. This is one of the noble truths that Buddha talked about. And so I was thinking about this in the past couple of days. Yesterday, we didn't get to do a full sit together because my internet was cutting in and out. But there are times in our practice, I think, where we perceive sort of an upward trajectory, right? An upward growth. Like we sit in practice, and even in that short amount of time, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, breathing, sitting, we can feel better, right? We feel more at ease, we feel more calm, we feel more centered, and these things are pleasurable, and even joyful. You know, as we allow ourselves to sit with what is, not with what we wish were or wish were not. That can bring us levels of satisfaction. We can be satisfied in the moment. And in bringing this practice into our lives, you know, we can find that we start to see subtle changes we sort of view on an upward trajectory in other places in our life, right? So we think, wow, this is really working. This is really working. But maybe what we don't stop to think is that this practice is always working, even when it doesn't feel upward, right? Even when it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel beneficial. And gearing ourselves towards the goodness, that's good. That's okay. We would be if we were to only be aware of the benefits of feeling good and not find the benefits when we don't. There's a certain level of awareness that's necessary, and maybe we have to shift a bit, like we shifted in our seat today in the meditation. We were feeling, if you were feeling a bit anxious or stuck, you shift. You shift your butt, you shift your feet, you stretch your hands, you yawn maybe, whatever it is you need to do. But that slight shift, that brings us back into a place of reset. So we can shift our perspective a bit as well. Because it's through the experience of the mundane or the experience of discomfort or the experience of our pain or our suffering that most likely brought us into awareness of seeking awareness. So to explore that a bit, there's a reason you began sitting in these meditations or in any meditation, in any practice, whether this is a brand new practice for you or it's something you've been doing for 30, 40, 50 years. There's a reason that you sat down to begin a practice. And that reason is varied, but inevitably that reason comes to you want to explore the way that you feel, right? You want to be able to explore that, sit with it, learn techniques and tools, and find pathways into feeling. So maybe that you could feel better, or maybe you could learn to cope with something that wasn't so comfortable, some suffering you were having, and you wanted to learn how to get underneath that suffering so you could ease it for yourself or for others. Whatever it is, there was something that brought you here, and generally the thing that brought you here wasn't necessarily feeling great. Right? There was something that was leading you on a search. And it didn't have to necessarily be suffering in the greatest sense. It could just be boredom, the mundane. I want something different. I want something new. And it brought you to this next layer in your life, this next path. And then now you're on this path. And you begin again to, well, first you start on this, what you see as an upward trajectory. You're feeling better. Your energy levels are up. Your health is improved. Your breathing is improved. Your overall demeanor seems to be more kind, more gentle. Your friends are noticing it. Your family saying, wow, you seem to be feeling pretty good lately. You look great. Like, wow, you're glowing. What's your secret? Whatever it may be. And then you plateau. Where what was yesterday a success, I attained this level of understanding. I attained this place of being that feels like a success. Today feels like more of yesterday. Well, it's more of the same. It's not doing anything anymore. It's not doing anything. But it's important that you remember in those times when you're feeling plateaued that it's always doing the work that it's doing. Whether or not you're practicing the practice, it's doing what it's doing. What we experience, you can't not have it. We are entering into any practice as a way to simply escape something, then you only need to go so far. For instance, if I'm in the middle of the road and there's a truck coming at me, I don't need to move very far to get away from the path of that truck. So if my intention of the practice was to get out of the way of the truck, I step 3 or 4 steps to the side, the truck passes me by, and there I am on the side of the road. I'm out of the way of the truck. Now what? Right? Now what? So I've gotten away. So if your intention when practicing breath work or meditation or contemplation or entering into spiritual and religious practices is to get away from something, then when you find that you've gotten away from it, you tend to wonder what it is you're doing. But for me, I have to remind myself that it was the experience of the plateau, experience of the mundane, that brought me to this journey. And it was this journey that took me to the next place in my existence, the next level of awareness. So if I stop there, that's fine. But I wonder what happens if I keep going. Can that road in one lane of traffic to avoid just enough to get I may be stepping to another lane of traffic. And there may be a truck coming from behind that I don't see. So that's just to say, allow your practice to change and inform you. Because you're changing all the time. And if your practice is one of trying to continue returning to the person you were yesterday in practice, then you're going to struggle. And it may work for days and days on end. Some people may be able to keep that for years. And there's no judgment about it, but if you are a person who's experiencing suffering of your own design by trying to return to a state or feeling that you had the last time, instead of moving into a state or the feeling that you have right now, let that breath be your reminder that I'm not breathing in the same breath that I just breathed out. And in fact, I'm not breathing out the same breath that I just breathed in. We're in a constant state of change. And when I suffer change and I try to create stasis, then I'm battling against the current of existence. Right? And isn't it so that that's what sickness is? So, on this Wednesday, when you're sitting in this practice, we'll leave today with 3 more minutes of sitting. And in the sitting that we'll have in the last 3 minutes, I'll ring the bell and we can sit in contemplation of becoming, what it is to become. I found in my life that the biggest obstacle I find for myself is in allowing myself to become the person that I'm becoming. That's been a big obstacle for me. I find success in a certain layer of my identity, right? I identify myself with something that I find to be successful, and I want to hold on to that. So when I find success in making people laugh in social situations, then I want to be the funny guy. So I hold on to that identity of the funny guy and I'm striving to be funny. But then, as we all know, what happens is you start grasping for what's funny, and sometimes it becomes inappropriate, and sometimes it becomes damaging. And sometimes the people that enjoy you when you're funny don't necessarily see you in the way that they can trust you when they're serious or when they're suffering. So they don't come to you. Then you have created for yourself this little divot. I'm the funny guy. The same thing is done for I'm the hard worker. When I show up to work, I everybody knows that I'm working the hardest. I work the longest, I take the shortest breaks if any. I work weekends. I'm the worker. I'm the hard worker. Or whatever role it is. Whatever role it is that you found success in, you found acceptance, you found a place, you found a purpose, you found a way to identify, and you had security in that identity. You felt safe there. Allowing ourselves to not be that thing feels dangerous. And when this is the thing that you have found security in, safety in, to not have that feel dangerous. When something challenges that identity in you, it can feel an attack. Right? So think about that. Okay. At the times in your life that maybe you found yourself defending something about yourself that, if you're being honest with yourself, it didn't matter. You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to do that. You didn't feel like doing that right now. You didn't feel like doing that today. But you did it anyway. And you did it because whether or not you knew this, you had practice. Practice of funny guy, or a practice of being the spiritual one, or a practice of passionate one, or a practice of being where it is. So you practiced and practiced, practiced, practiced perfect. Right? So you were trying to perfect this role. And these can be some hard things to start recognizing in yourself. So when we meditate on the change in the breath, meditate on the truth that everything we know is temporary. And if everything we know is temporary, then everything we know is changing. All of the time. All of the time. And when I go against that, I'm battling my own nature. The very nature of my existence is being fought against. And I don't know if you know this or not, but that doesn't work. And we tend to learn this when we do a cartwheel at age 42, thinking we're still 19, and we throw our shoulder. Or we go out drinking with your friends like you did when you were 24, and you have to work the next morning and you're down for 2 days with a terrible hangover. Or you eat half a pizza at 10:30 at night and try to go right to sleep, and you're up all night with heartburn. You really that change happens, and you are not the person you were. So let's meditate on that. We'll spend 3 minutes. I'll ring the bell. And with each breath in, I am changing. And with each breath out, I am changed. And I want us to be mindful that we're not doing this practice to create change for ourselves. We are doing this practice as a way of recognizing that change is happening. And there's a big difference there. There's a big difference, worlds of difference. In the most subtle shift, it's the world of difference. I'm not here to change myself. I'm here to recognize that change is inevitable and I'm allowing myself to change. Okay. You find your meditation posture. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's going to bring us to the end of our practice today. Thanks for joining me on this journey home. I'm really grateful to have this practice and to be able to share it. And Silas and Chais, thank you for always being here. It's such a nice comfort to be able to come together with you all. It really is. So, with that, I'm developing a weekend-long retreat program. I'm still contemplating whether it will be in person or online. Most likely it will be online for the first one. But as I develop that, I will keep you updated on this, on the progress of the weekend long retreat. It would most likely be around 6 hours a day, um, Friday afternoon through Sunday evening. Um, and we would be um, doing a bit more of a deeper exploration of a lot of these practices. We'd narrow it down to a few practices. I'm narrowing it down and do a deeper exploration of these practices. So as that develops, I will be updating. My website, journeyhomemeditation.com, is not live yet, but it's almost live, almost ready to go live. Um, but for now, and that's at the top of the Journey Home Meditation page, whether it's Twitch or Twitter or YouTube or Facebook. You can go Journey Home Meditation on Facebook. It's a page, and at the top there's a link tree, and that will link you to our Instagram, which is dreadfully underused, our Twitter, um, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook accounts. Soon it will be linking you to our website, and hopefully there'll be an app from the website as well where I can put 3-minute videos up and with different specific techniques. But all of this is in the works for Journey Home Meditation, so thank you for your continued support. You can check out the Patreon or share it from there as well, if that's something that you're interested in doing, is providing some level of financial support. I'm grateful for any level of engagement. It's the Sangha, the community that comes around these practices, that really does uphold the practice. Each of us is a pillar in upholding this. And so that's the point. The point is that we come together in whatever way we can. So I'm going to put my hands together in the recognized position of gratitude and prayer. And my gratitude today is that all things change. I'm grateful that all things change. And my prayer today is, may I have the awareness to celebrate change in any form that it comes. May I have the awareness to celebrate change in any form that it comes. Because the celebration of change is the continuation of the path, right? It's the recognition that whatever is happening, this too shall pass. And when all things become temporary, then the need to suffer them is lifted. The burden is lifted. I don't need to spend my life suffering something that, and whether suffering is suffering something I don't want or suffering the fear of the loss of something I do. This is the practice. Letting go is relief. And that's what I am in my life. So thanks for joining me. We'll see you all tomorrow, 7:30 in the morning. Space. Yeah. That's one thing I don't think is going to be changing to anytime soon, hopefully. But I say that, come on at 7:30 and my internet actually get to hold an entire sit. So that's not even true. That changes as well. It's always changing. All right, y'all. Thanks so much. Oh, I want to thank Jane Winther for allowing us to use her music still on this platform. Um, the track we listened to today was called The Journey. Oops. I want to get the name of the album correct and everything. The Journey and the Meeting from the album Soul Connection. So the track we heard was The Journey and the Meeting, and the album was Soul Connection. And that's Jane Venter. JaneWinther. You can find Jane on all the socials. And, she's quite active on Spotify with creating these wonderful playlists, like amazing playlists for all sorts of feelings in your daily practice. So if you have Spotify, check her out. If you don't, I'm not recommending Spotify. This is not an advertisement, but yeah. Okay.